baru, mini minor, building partnerships.
Hello, my name is Claudio Perotti. I'm the program manager of the Building Partnerships Minors programs offered by AMSIP, the Amsterdam University of Applied Sciences. And we are here with a group of lecturers to get a little bit understanding about China. In 10 days, for the students it's a full month, and go to different places in China, meet with different people in China, and explore this country. And we will share that with you now here in this video. Hope you enjoy it.
Mini minor China was an overwhelming experience. To do 4 big cities, Shanghai, Beijing, Hangzhou, Hong Kong in like 9 days is already very busy, and you get a lot of impressions. But we also had a very, very busy schedule, not only visiting cultural sites, listening to speakers from universities, but also we had some personal meetings planned with organizations and foundations in the different cities. We visited a few companies, innovation hubs, foundations, all involved in stimulating entrepreneurship. Our main focus was the ecosystem of entrepreneurship and the roles of different stakeholders within the ecosystem. So think of government, education, investors, companies.
Big country with a lot of differences. The cities are super modern. The people were nice. There's much less pollution than I expected. Also, a lot less chaotic than I expected. What I discovered is that the Chinese government, local government, stakeholders are really focusing on entrepreneurship. That made me very excited about the future of China and the focus that they have on entrepreneurship.
As far as setting up collaborations or other types of cooperations, I thought it would be quite difficult to come in contact with local entrepreneurs, economists, or other professionals. We had a lot of appointments. They were very accommodating, very attentive, very humble as well, and also very eager to set up collaborations. So actually, we as Dutch people, we think we're too direct, but actually they were the first to come to actually propose ways that we could cooperate.
Modern China of today is that they are focusing on innovation, on brands. They want to have more brands in China itself, and on moving away from cheap. So they want to focus more on quality. And next to that, they really are interested in internships, both for their local people, but also for foreigners, and in entrepreneurial opportunities.
I went to China to look at the new retail strategy of Alibaba and JD.com. That is the rival of Alibaba. What they are doing is to merge the online with the offline physical stores. And I actually looked to real life cases in China, in Beijing and Shanghai and Hangzhou. And I went there and I saw a lot of new things which I haven't seen before. That of Tmall and Intersport in Beijing. That's a sports company where you can actually experience the digital technologies like a smart shelf or smart mirror, where you have a nice shopping experience. And I was very surprised about it. They were very far, they are in an experimental phase and can use that experience and knowledge also for the Dutch retail business and the European retail business.
They're very interested in what we are doing. They would like to investigate cooperation, mainly with the West.
I have arranged the meetings through the Global Entrepreneurship Network. Finally, we ended up meeting different kinds of stakeholders. And what we learned was that the ecosystem of entrepreneurship in China is pretty mature. There are a lot of instruments, activities stimulating entrepreneurs. We don't know exactly how it is in the rural areas. Of course, ecosystems differ always in countries, also in Shanghai and Beijing, but in both these cities, you really are in a, let's say, comfy zone when you want to start a business, because there are funds, there's legislation, there are stimulating programs, there are training programs for startups, and even the scale-up situation, the scale-up phase where you get in, is pretty well facilitated with all kinds of funds, either government-owned or by private institutes.
Chinese people are willing to gather knowledge, and whenever you want to succeed when doing businesses or collaborating in any kind of educational institution, the best thing to do is to come up with ideas, to share experiences and knowledge. That would be an open door in order to build relationships and partnerships. The first thing I was amazed of was the quality of the training we received before leaving. We had training of different kinds of cultural aspects such as history, geography, language, trade, doing business in China. We had people from different sections, different departments with different professional backgrounds. So actually, it was a very interesting and a rich experience to be abroad in such a different world with the knowledge and the skills of these people. It was the perfect occasion to meet and share experiences with people from our own university.
Something I did not know before I came to China was how hospitable the Chinese people are. We've been greeted with nothing but kindness, helpfulness since we've been here. When we visited Chinese companies and Chinese universities, we were taken care of very well. They were very professional, very organized, and really treated you with a lot of respect and dignity. So I think that that's something that I didn't know before we came here, was how much we can actually learn from the Chinese about how to take care of visitors and how to make them feel special and welcome and appreciated.
I really liked that the meeting we went with the four of us, that they prepared with an agenda with all the topics on it, our names and what we do in Holland, their names, and what they do in China. We had this lovely conversation to find common ground between Chinese students and Dutch students.
The sense of respect is very strong in the Chinese culture, and especially respect in terms of listening. People listen to each other and they pay attention to each other's conversations. So it was very interesting to see.
The country is about paradoxes that we still don't really have a grasp on it up till today. On the one hand, you see a lot of capitalism in the whole country. On the other hand, You see all those kind of same buildings and the same way of living. So it's a very difficult country to understand, and that's why intellectually it's been a great journey to undergo this trip. And next to that, I've been teaching a bit on the Docu University, in which I saw the same. The Chinese students are really hungry for new knowledge. You see that in the class. And on the other hand, they're pretty quiet. You really have to get them going. So it's pretty hard work to do that. So also there you see those paradoxes coming up. And I would recommend everybody to undertake this journey.
Well, the second activity I organized during this trip was a workshop, and that was actually during the International Day of the Spanish Language, and it was at the Cervantes Institute in Beijing, and it was a lot of fun because I also had the opportunity to bring the super buddies with me, so they experienced within their own country another culture. My purpose was to give some knowledge to the Chinese children about flamenco. So the workshop was based mainly on learning how to count in Spanish with some flamenco music. So I brought some music with me, and I used also an intercultural approach. So the Chinese children taught me how to count until 10 in Chinese, which was kind of hard, by the way. And, well, the other way around.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Well, another interesting aspect about the Chinese culture and this experience during this trip was that everything in China is pretty much child-orientated. So from the shopping malls with all kinds of activities for children, so people can spend a whole day there, maybe do some shopping, but the children are entertained with interesting activities, workshops for painting, or they can even go for a couple of hours of ballet. They also have a swimming pool for babies with a library. As a mom, I'm very interested in this kind of detail. So one of the professors told us that another important thing China is up to is evolution, which is not revolution. Evolution, effort, and patience. Those are the key words for the China of nowadays.
Welcome to China. Welcome to China. This is Temple of Heaven.
This is the Temple of Heaven? And your name is?
Give me 5.
Give you 5? Okay.
Give me 5.
5, 5, 5, 4, 5.
Hi, I'm one of the members who did the first mini-minor building partnerships in China. And my name is Michael Tuguntke. And I want to share something with you. Before my trip to China, so I thought the language would be a big problem. Also the strange Chinese characters they have. I thought the culture is very closed. Chinese don't have any interest in European guys going there. And another obstruction I experienced, or I thought before I went to China, was that they would have no interest in foreigners. Now I'm back. I've been there for 10 days. I saw that they speak quite a proper English, even better than mine sometimes. And the characters I could read through a Google Translate. They have a nice app on this. Or the buddies we have, they help me. I experienced a quite open culture. They asked questions, they were interested where we're from, and they were looking for partnerships with us. So partnerships between different universities. So the minor was called Building Partnerships in China, and one of the main partnerships I built was the partnerships with my colleagues of HVA going to China. Thank you for watching.
So this mini minor program is the first time for Amsterdam University, and we met a lot of interesting teachers from the school, and we shared our different experiences from different cultures. Also, they're very different from Chinese teachers, so we can become friends. And for me, as Caroline has said, a lot of difference from Chinese teachers. And from this program, I just got new feelings about teachers, and we become good friends. So from then on, I will talk more with the teachers, I think. So basically.
In general, I just met so many nice people from a totally different culture, and I have learned a lot from them, how they think and how they live and how they talk to people. I feel that I have improved myself a lot through talking to them and talking about with them. They're overall really open-minded, and it's really easy to talk to, and I had a really great time with all of them.